What's up, guys? You're watching Black in the Court, and my name is Will. I can't believe that Janet Jackson opened her mouth about Kamala Harris and her racial identity. I think it's important to make this video because I think misinformation needs to be stopped in its tracks. Black people are being targeted, and it's in an effort to peel off votes and make people think that Kamala Harris isn't black, like she's doing this just to get into office, which is why I want to make sure that my audience knows the truth. This all started when she was being interviewed by The Guardian. They asked her, what did she think about the idea of there being the first black female president of the United States? And instead of answering the question, she basically was saying, oh, she's Indian. And then when the interviewer basically said, but she's also black, she said, well, I thought, they discovered that her father was white. It's all misinformation. And even when she was told that she was wrong, she didn't apologize. A supposed manager came out later and apologized on her behalf. Janet's people came out and they basically said that they don't know who this person is, that this is not her manager. There was never an apology, which I think so many people were expecting her to apologize because, once again, it was misinformation. Why is it so hard to just say, you know what, I was wrong about Kamala Harris. She is black. You know what I mean? As simple as that, and keep it moving. But instead, it was radio silence, and now she's back performing. She was in Paris opening night for her European leg of her tour. It doesn't look like we're getting an apology. It feels like she doesn't feel that she owes anybody an apology. It's just wrong in every sense of the word, and that's why Janet really should have came out and apologized. I actually honestly believe that she didn't need to apologize for the Super Bowl, but for something like this that is very serious and that could affect your life, my life, all of our lives, I think it's very important to come out and say, look, I was wrong. It's very disappointing because it basically helps the right wing and pushing this conspiracy that somehow Kamala Harris isn't black, or that basically she, like Trump said, quote unquote, turned black when she started to run for office, which is not true. She went to a historically black college. She has always identified with both sides, like most people who are biracial. And I really don't even understand why this is a topic that we need to be focused on, when really it should be about policy. It should be about Trump and his policies towards black people, affirmative action, civil rights, voting rights, the insurrection. He is a criminal. He incited an insurrection. An insurrection. People died. We have Donald Trump, who denied black people housing. So many things. From the 1970s, he's been discriminatory against blacks up until now. Not to mention all the things that Trump has said that are disparaging and demeaning towards black people. The latest thing being Haitians eating cats and dogs.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
It's really along the same lines of birtherism, which was a big lie that was perpetrated by Trump. So here we are again. We have to understand that Trump, he is all about dividing us, especially when it comes to people of color. He wants to divide us, and we cannot fall for it. Bottom line, we can't fall for it. So yes, Janet Jackson, I don't know what you were thinking. You have all the resources in the world, and you could have just, looked it up for yourself. I don't know. I don't know what it says about you in this point. I love your music, and I love your performances and everything, but it makes me question who you really are. Who you really are, not who Kamala is. It makes me question who you are as a person. And whether you've had a silver spoon in your mouth too long to the point where you can't identify with everyday people. Maybe we need to turn the page on Janet Jackson for her comments. Just like we need to turn the page on Trump. Because I will not stand for misinformation. I don't care who it is. One of the questions that everyone is asking is, well, where is Janet getting all of this information, this misinformation? And a big finger is being pointed at Randy, which is her brother. Randy Jackson, he was not a part of the original Jackson 5, but later he became part of the Jacksons. Anyway, when you look at his page, his Instagram page, he's following Candace Owens, another right-wing commentator. He has a picture up there with RFK Jr., who we all know is crazy and insane and basically just endorsed Trump. He's been peddling a lot of right-wing conspiracies. And this is basically who Janet is close to. Not only is that her brother, he's also her manager. It really does make it look like Janet is being brainwashed to believe right-wing conspiracies. And it's really a disservice to Janet and her legacy. And I don't know why her brother would want that, because it's like everything opposite of Rhythm Nation and getting rid of color lines and being united regardless of race and creed. Her music has spoken to a lot of marginalized groups. And, that goes contrary to, having political views that support someone who is against those groups. It's also going against the idea of being in control, like being in control of not only your music and your identity, but also your mouth. Not all, obviously, but there are a lot of fans who, like me, are really disappointed. And maybe at this point she doesn't even care, because it does seem like she doesn't really care as much. I also don't know if that's also a part of just how her career got derailed because of the Super Bowl. Whatever the case may be, she's been in the business for over 50 years. Even if she is a Republican or a MAGA person, she has a responsibility to not spread misinformation out there into the public. I mean, like, she was a target of misinformation. Her brother, her whole family. So she should really know better. A lot of people have called me like, what's wrong with Janet? Like, what's going on with her? Like, how do you feel about this? And I'm just like, you know what? If this is the real Janet, then I want no part. Because personally, I'm worried about Project 2025. I'm worried about voter rights. I'm worried about just everything that would happen if Trump got back in office. Like, we got to really talk about that. That's what we really need to be talking about. There's two different options, and they're very different from each other. One basically is looking forward, and the other one wants to look backwards. And really, do we want to go backwards as a people? As black people, do we really want to go backwards? Does America want to go backwards? We've already had 4 years of Trump, and we know what that looks like, and it's only going to get worse. Digging into Kamala Harris's racial lineage, her grandfather was Irish. It's just so pathetic and desperate. They're doing everything they can to distract from the real causes, the real issues at hand. We are playing right into the Republicans' hands by focusing in on Kamala and whether she's black or not, as opposed to Donald Trump and whether he's a racist or not, how he is harmful to black people. So Candace Owens, who I can't stand because she's always on the wrong side of every issue, but she's just like, if you're coming after Janet Jackson, then you're coming after all of us. And Janet was so right to say what was on her mind, and now you want to come after all of us. Actually, no. What we're coming after Janet for is the fact of her her having a big platform and using it to spread misinformation that basically came from Trump. It's a lie, and it's what he wants us to focus on. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, your son, who is biracial. He is both black and of Arab descent. He's a biracial child. Now, would you want people questioning his identity or taking away his right to self-identify whichever way he chooses once he becomes an adult? Would you want that? What I'm seeing on the ground is that regardless of these lies and this misinformation, which is pathetic and desperate, it will not stop Kamala's momentum in this election. Black female voter registration is at an all-time high. The youth vote is energized. Her rallies are, at record-sized numbers. It's amazing what we're seeing on the ground. People are volunteering at record numbers. So, the momentum is there. Every time she appears in an interview, I mean, it's just like, wow, like, she really amazes me. She's an amazing woman. And that's why I also think she hasn't spoken about this, is because Kamala's just like, you know what? Whatever. I'm not getting involved in this. I'm not going to give any credence to this. So I'm just going to ignore it. And I respect her even more for that. Wow, I love this woman and I can't wait to vote for her. And I really hope you guys do too. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments, whether you are Team Kamala or, whether you think that Janet was right or wrong, or you don't care, or it won't matter in the end anyway. Just let me know your comments down below. I'm curious your thoughts and how we can move forward as a people so that we stop questioning people's racial identity and just focus on things that really do matter in our society and when it comes to politics. Once again, my name is Will. Thank you for watching Black in the Core, and I'll see you next time.
Be a part of the conversation. Comment below. And please subscribe to my channel for future videos on New York City and hit the notification bell to receive more updates.